Good morning. Welcome. Good to have your company again this morning. I'm looking at the letter of Paul to the Colossians, the first chapter, and thinking about the things that Paul prayed for those who were believers in Colossae. He says this in verse 9, "And so from the day we heard of it, we've not ceased to pray for you, asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding, to lead a life worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God." Paul was praying for these people. And I don't know if you think sometimes, well, I'm not meant to understand everything that God has revealed. It's beyond my wit and understanding, and maybe it is. But with the presence of the Holy Spirit in your heart and mind, dwelling within you, teaching you, leading you, Paul would not ask for something that was impossible. And what he asked for was that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will. This was written to ordinary, everyday folk. This was not written to one of the leaders of the church at the time. This was written to ordinary Roman citizens and ordinary dwellers in the town of Colossae. That you may be filled with the knowledge of his will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding. We can know what God's will is for our lives, what God's will is for today and for tomorrow. What God's will is, we can know it, we can understand it, we can have wisdom, spiritual wisdom, how to do the things that God is calling us to do, so that we can lead a life worthy of the Lord. Is that your heart's cry, to lead a life worthy of the Lord? Lord, let my life be pleasing to you. The cry of our hearts, fully pleasing to him. This is something, God delights in our company. God delights in our praises. God delights in our meditation of his word, our focusing on him, our dedication of everything to him, our prayers for each other, so that we can live a life worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. So as we live, as we serve, as we follow, our knowledge of God will increase. Our knowledge of his ways, his thinking, will become more and more like him as we meditate on the word and as we sing praises, as we follow as best that we can. He will do the rest. But it's all right to pray for people like this, in this way, that we can pray for each other. Pray for each other. We can put a personal name in there. I don't know the names of everybody who's watching me, but put your name in here. I could read it as if I was praying it for Terry, my husband. So let me show you what I mean by that. "So from the day I heard of it, I have not ceased to pray for Terry, asking that Terry may be filled with the knowledge of God's will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding, that Terry will lead a life worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God." These scriptures are meant to be made personal, because just as these people in Colossae were ordinary, everyday people doing all sorts of ordinary, everyday jobs, the mundane, ordinary cooking and cleaning for the ladies and raising of children, perhaps some of the businesses that the men ran, in the ordinary, everyday of life, we can live a life pleasing to God, and we can develop in all spiritual wisdom and understanding. I think that's all I want to say this morning. It's a shorter thought. Perhaps you're glad of that. I don't know. But read those verses in Colossians chapter 1, verses 9 to 10, and think about them today. May God bless you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.